Wow, that chair. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. See, for the audience here tonight, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and the business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. I'd like to do roll call.
Trustee Chu,
Present.
Trustee Flowers,
Present.
Trustee Tolan,
Present.
Vice President Johnson,
Present.
President Landman.
Present.
Let the record show all members are here. Trustees are here.
Oh, next is the pledge. I forgot to ask somebody to do the pledge. Would anybody be interested? Yeah, okay, all right. Vice President Johnson, thank you.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Vice Presidente. Thank you. That was nice. Okay,
This is my first
okay,
time
I would like to request that the agenda be reordered as follows. The agenda, item number 4, staff recognition and celebration be before agenda item number 3. What was that? I don't know what it says.
Are there any objections?
Oh, mid-year review library budget.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will reorder the agenda.
Okay. So, okay, so never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Yes.
Maybe we should
Or
do
do
it,
you want to do it?
do it before item number 2. Would that make more sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. Is that okay? Does that work out even better? Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Trustee Chu. So if we could actually reorder it to before number 2.
So we will reorder item number 4, staff recognition and celebration, before item number 2. Any objections? Seeing none, then we will reorder it
Okay.
too.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So public comment. Sorry, that was the first time I've had to reorder. So that was special. That was nice. Okay. Public comment is taking place now. So I would like to open public comment period. I'd like to invite members of the public to address the trustees. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off agenda items. Are there any people in the audience? Any cards received?
No, and there is no one on Zoom.
Okay, all right. Right, well then I'll close public comment period. Board statements or reports, does anybody have a statement or a report they would like to give? Trustee Flowers?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening all and good evening at home. I want to report that on February 8th, I attended the library's annual Star Service Recognition Breakfast. It was a really fun time of communion with our library staff and Director Stone, and I want to congratulate JJ and Rose and Marcy for their outstanding service for which they were recognized. I also attended on February the 25th a pop art reception at Citrus College, highlighting selections from the Frederick R. Weisman Art Foundation. It's a real treat for our community to have this. It's displayed until I think April the 25th. Typically, you'd have to drive out to Los Angeles and have an RSVP well in advance, but you can go onto the Citrus College website and RSVP a tour of the outstanding collection. And they've got film stills, and they've got a Warhol in the collection. It's really quite impressive. We're very fortunate to have it out here in the San Gabriel Valley. On March the 1st, I attended the Glendora Historical Society Women of Distinction event held at the Bidwell Forum at our library. Originally, it had been planned to be hosted at the Glendora's museum site, but because of inclement weather, it was moved to the library, and they were very grateful for us being able to host them at our site. On March the 8th, I was a co-judge panelist for the Trivia Challenge. And today, March the 18th, I attended the Coordinating Council. And what I wanted to bring back to this group is that the Coordinating Council monthly issues awards for humanitarian service and for youth service recognition. And they are going to reach out to our library staff to see if there's any youth who volunteer through the library who should be worthy of recognition. They work in conjunction with the Glendora Unified School District, and they want to expand the names of nominees beyond just that. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Flowers. Anybody else? Okay, I have a few things too. The trivia challenge was so much fun, and that was such an honor to be involved. I had a great time with Trustee Toland and Trustee Flowers, and hearing all the answers and getting all the positive trivia energy. So that was cool. I just wanted to bring up a question regarding when the footage. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this who's in here, but when you go to watch it live, you cannot watch it on cable live. The only time that any of the meetings could be seen live would be if they're streamed on the city website or if you watch a rerun. That's the only one. But then for cable, it doesn't show up.
I know we were in transition with the HD
Yeah.
cabling and whatnot.
Is
and
it a
so
little while?
That's in progress. But I will certainly ask our staff.
Thanks. Thank you.
There you go. Please introduce yourself, sir.
You might want to contact Spectrum, because I'm assuming you have cable. Contact Spectrum because I monitor in my office and it's broadcasting live right now.
Okay, so
So
as
I don't know if
as
it's
of
on the
now.
east side of the city that there's been an issue, because when they did transition, San Dimas's channel was bleeding over to some residents.
Oh.
I don't know where that's at now, but the only way I can check it is monitoring it in my office, and it is playing live or broadcasting live as all the meetings do. But if it's not at your house, my suggestion would be to contact Spectrum.
Okay, because I could
directly.
watch it online, but
Yeah.
but
You can also watch replays of the meeting on your cable.
Mhm.
Yeah, so see, it should be streaming live. It should be
Yeah.
broadcasting live now. So if it's not,
okay.
I don't have an answer, because like Lorena Cordova works in the city clerk's department and she watches the meetings live, and she lives on the west end of town.
Okay,
So because we kind of text
like
back and forth.
central, South Central.
Okay. South Central. Glendora. Yeah, I would I'll see if I can find out any information, but I would suggest contacting Spectrum directly.
Okay,
What shows, like for a live broadcast of a council meeting, what is
just
it, just the bulletin
the
board?
blue screen.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, all right, yeah.
Now that was as of last week,
Yeah,
so
no, it should, because
I didn't check
we've been up
obviously.
and running
no.
with HD for probably 3 weeks now,
Okay,
maybe a month. So
I'll check tomorrow for the
Okay.
planning commission. I'll see.
this is my first time talking too. So it's kind of.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and then also I would like to congratulate Glendora High School Tartan Band for being invited to the 4th of July Washington DC Parade in 2025 road trip. So that's really cool. That's exciting. And then also I just want to bring up the if anybody would like to help contribute to the basket for Night on the Plaza again. So if you'd like to do that. So there. Okay. I could, okay. All right. So then I'll go ahead and I'll move the staff recognition and celebration to right now, if I can do that.
It's my first time too. So I'm actually really excited to be here tonight and actually share a little bit about our staff recognition and celebration with you guys. The City of Glendora and the Public Library value the hard work and dedication for their employees, are committed to recognizing those employees who provide exceptional contributions, and endeavor to build and maintain a highly motivated workforce, reduce employee turnover, and contribute to employee satisfaction. And as you know, we're ranked pretty high on the city's survey. So, our employees are pretty spectacular. The dedication of staff members to providing excellent customer service plays an essential role in the success of our community members. So happy staff, they provide great service to our community. So it kind of, goes hand in hand. So now here are some ways that the library staff is celebrated, and we have quite a few different ways to share with you today. This is one of the ways, our monthly service recognition. This is internal within the library. And every employee who receives a star service recognition written by a fellow library staff receives a library dollar. But first I wanted to show you what these look like. They're actually on the slides too. This is what they look like in person. And if you see your coworker or, if you would be on the staff, we'd have given you one of these for bringing pie. Okay. So, sometimes people just do awesome things, or, they chip in, or they come in and take in when we're short staffed or when it's a hard day, or, so this is how we share and kind of give each other a high five or a pat. Employees with the most, and then after you get this, then you get one of these. This is a library dollar. And look at that tower. That's awesome. Thank you, Elke. She created it. And then employees with the most star service recognitions from the previous month is the winner of that month. So for example, in March, in our all staff meeting, we recognize the person who had the most of these for February. Okay. Winners receive a token of acknowledgement, and their names are added to the plaque hanging in the library. So you could see on your slide there, that's an example that's actually right next to the circ desk. And their names get added to that. And then they also get, right now we're doing gift cards. So the winner gets a gift card for that month. All other employees who receive star service recognition have the opportunity to win a prize from the treasure box each month. So if you got star service for that month, your name goes in my special basket, and then it gets drawn out. And then you come and get to see me. And I actually have a literal treasure box in my office, and you get to pick from those goodies. This is what our dollars look like, right? You can see a picture up there, and I showed you what they look like. Library dollar incentive was added in March of 2017 to create a new excitement for the Library Stars Service Recognition Program. Library dollars can be redeemed for a gift card at a local business. So some of our employees will collect these, and then, they get like $20. And so from there, they can pick a local business that they want to trade them into. Staff can also combine their library dollars to get a gift card for a larger amount. So this gives them the opportunity for staff to socialize and outings too. And I will say, quick note, that I think one of the most popular requests is crust and crumble. So this is a way that that the employees get recognized citywide through merit coupon recognitions. And this is what these look like. They're up there on the slides. These are actually, program allows for public city staff to recognize a city employee. Merit coupons can be found on the main floor of the library as well as other city locations. Ours are right next to the self-checkout in front of the circ desk. Milestones are celebrated with a presentation by the city manager. As you can see on that slide there, we have Miss Cindy getting recognized by city manager Adam Raymond. And merit coupons are also counted as part of the library star service recognition. So if you get one of these, then it counts like one of these internally for us. Okay, here's some fun things. Annual Star Service celebration within the library also happening, recognizes the library employee who received the most Star Service and merit coupon recognitions during the previous year. So we have like a tally, right? And then whoever gets the most throughout the year, winner's name gets inscribed on that trophy. You see that picture up there. Added to the Employee of the Month plaque and posted on the library's website. If you go in there, you can see the past winners and also our current winners. Runners up receive a letter of recognition and a star pin, which Rose will probably show you since she was runner up. And the Star Service trophy is presented to the winner at the morning event, which down here you can see we had a nice little breakfast. And then Director Stone presented the certificates and so forth. Another opportunity to celebrate is offered during an evening event. So we get together in the evening, those who can't attend the morning. Trustee Flowers was when he joined us. And then in the evening, as you can see in some of these pictures, last year we did bowling. We went to a bowling alley and spent some time together there. And over here, this year, we actually celebrated up in Bidwell. And right here on the very left-hand corner was a very intense game of spoons. It was quite fun. We had a really good time. So in 2023, library staff received a combined total of 316 Star Service and merit coupon recognitions. 281 of those were Star Service and 35 were merit coupon recognitions. So in these little bubbles, you can see some of the comments that were found on either these or the internal ones. Customer service and friendliness, updating our facilities application, extended time and patience helping a patron, always being so positive and creative, always being willing to jump in, last minute scheduling help, providing outstanding service, and also included some examples of some of the merit coupons that were filled out by customers, being recognized by a patron for doing a great job, helping him the last time he came in. So someone actually wrote that out. You know, they got extra help and they were really grateful for that. This one says, thank you so much, Miss Marcy. You make learning so much fun. My 3 children look forward to the monthly Teen Labs activities. Thank you for being so kind and loving. And that was also from a customer. So now you guys get a really great treat because we have 2 of our 3 winners, Star Service winners. Here's JJ Joaquin Gonzalez and Miss Rose Mecca, who are going to talk to you guys for a few minutes.
Hi, everyone. This is my first time talking to as well. So for tonight, I'm actually going to be introducing my coworker, Rose, my wonderful coworker, Rose. She is one of our senior library technicians here, and she started working in February of 2023, so last year. One thing that I always love working with Rose she's always so wonderful with helping everyone on the front desk. No matter what the problem is, she's always very quick and very kind in helping out patrons, regardless of the problem at hand. And she does her best to find the most, I guess, peaceful as well as accessible solution for everyone. And of course, she's just a friendly face to be around. She's always a wonderful person to have wonderful conversations with. She's a great friend, and I enjoy working with her a lot. So yeah, that is Rose. Rose, my coworker.
So you all just met JJ, Joaquin Gonzalez. Yay. JJ has been working at the library since February of 2020. He won the Star Service Award in 2021 for his excellent customer service skills, and it's only gotten better because he won the trophy again this year or last year, 2023. He also just told me that he won the volunteer award that you were just mentioning. So he's also won that, and he is also part of the Glendora High School marching band. So it's like a JJ night tonight. All right. What I love most about working with JJ is his personality. He can instantly brighten up your day with a witty joke or a simple smile. He always goes out of his way to help fellow coworkers by lending a hand on tasks that maybe not everyone wants to do. He exemplifies the award because he is kind. He's the kind of coworker that makes coming to the library fun, and I know I always look forward to my shifts working with him. He provides service to his community by helping every patron in the library have access to whatever it is that they are needing, whether that be computer help or just simply finding a book. He also works on getting the library materials processed in a timely manner in his Library Aid 2 position. And that also helps give our patrons access to library resources quickly. I feel honored to be sharing more about JJ as he's been a great example to me of what a fantastic library employee is. And I look forward to beating him next year by giving even greater customer service. That's JJ. Thank you.
As you can see, you know why they're winners. So here's one more way that the city provides employee recognition. And this is through recognition of service of years. So as you can see in these 3 pictures, we have at least one employee in each picture serving 5, 15, 20 years. So that's another way that employees get recognized. Okay, so I love show and tell. So you get a little memento and you all get a library dollar tonight. And I will answer any questions if you have any.
Trustee Flowers?
I sure will. Thank you. Well, buck stops here. All right. Thank you very much for that thorough report. Again, congratulations, Rose and JJ, on your recognition, and thank you for coming to speak to the Board of Trustees tonight. I don't have questions, but 2 comments.
Yeah, go for it.
First, when it comes to the bogus bucks or whatever they're called, library dollars.
Yes.
I'm thinking of 3rd grade bogus bucks in Stanton Elementary School. I think it's such a wonderful idea, and especially with the component of being able to go into the community locally and be able to get something instead of going outside of the community, keeps all of our dollars local. And to look at the star and merit feedback, the 316 that have been received annually, considering there was something like 48 Sundays a year, that's nearly a compliment a day. Our library staff is garnering that someone takes a time out of their day because of the outstanding service they have received to leave feedback. And it's hard to find folks to leave positive feedback nowadays. And we're getting one of those a day at our library. And that's, I think, so reflective of the entire cadre and staff at the library. So congratulations all and well done.
Thank you. Any others? You good? All right, because I'm going.
Anybody else have?
I just have a story. I think one time, I think it was JJ. There was a lizard in oh, there was a lizard by the computer area, and I was like sitting at the table studying, and then I was just watching this lizard just like run around. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. And then I asked him to go see if he could do anything about the lizard, and he tried to catch it. I don't remember if you caught it. Okay, he caught it, but he's a great lizard catcher too.
We have lots of
That's my
lizard
story.
whispers. Lizard whisper. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. That's very exciting. You should be very proud. So that's great. Okay. Next, I'd like to go to reports of the library director and library divisions. I would like to invite Library Director Janet Stone to report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Lovely to be here with you. And they've already ducked out to go back to their excellent customer service. But cheers to JJ and Rose, as well as Marcy, who couldn't be with us tonight. It's an absolute pleasure to work with the entire library staff. It is an expert team and really pretty great family to each other. So anyway, it's an absolute delight, and they really do help the community succeed in reaching its aspirations. So cheers all around. Okay, so we do have a little unusual addition to the usual director's report and division report tonight. Last time, the topic of the library leaks came up, and the idea of making sure that that the visuals were out there. So I went around and took pictures as of packet day, and put together this brief slideshow just to make sure that we had visuals of what's been happening in terms of water incursion in the library. So next slide, please. So it just a very informal series of snapshots kind of working around the library, sort of almost counterclockwise. So this is in the northeast corner of the library, back in the nonfiction shelving area. And this is very familiar to library customers who've been coming for a while. We've had plastic sheeting up here for quite a long time. This is just what it happened to look like I said, the day that we finished the board packet. But it can be even more bucket heavy, depending on if we're having some rain showers at the time or are just recovering from them. Next slide, please. Okay, so continuing sort of counterclockwise around the library, this is the northwest corner. This water incursion is actually, we believe, is garden related, but the water is coming in through this corner, through the brick, so to speak, and through the masonry. And this one is new to us this year. We had not at least ever noticed this particular leak before and had to move those books out of that section that you see right there. Next slide, please. All right, so continuing around down along the west wall, this is underneath the towers that extend up and provide some daylight along that side of the library. This is the garden side. The towers leak for a couple of different reasons. The windows, the framing around the windows is rusting and getting a little bit loose. Not enough that the windows are unsafe, but certainly enough to let in some water. And then also the ceiling, we believe, the plaza up to the edge of the towers, and then also perhaps the actual cinder block itself a few feet up. All of that sealant is starting to wear since the last time they updated it. So these leaks have been here for years in the past. We hadn't seen them for a while until the most recent rainy season. Next slide, please. And continuing south along that side of the library, this is in the teen and homework area. And I will be perfectly frank, this is a leak. We don't actually know where the water is coming from. It's one of those ones we think that where the water runs along inside the ceiling for a distance before it makes its way down. So we don't know where this actual problem is. But we hadn't seen this leak for a while again, until the recent rainy season. Next slide, please. And then circling back around sort of toward the middle of the main hall, I just put this one in here because this is sort of the granddaddy of them next to one of our pillars. If nothing else is leaking in the library, this is probably the one that drips. And also, I mean, maybe we can be thankful to it because right next to the picture that you see on the right, if you were to turn your head and look up there, that's one of the cracks that led us to start exploring the effects of torsion on the structural system in the library. So actually having to look up at this maybe made us look harder at the rest of the building and understand what some of its needs are going to be for the next coming decades. So anyway, a few other things I wanted to mention there were many interesting ideas were brought up at the last board meeting about getting customer feedback on what the leaks are like for them, what all that means to them. And I just wanted to say that as with any building that you inhabit 50 years into its lifetime, and many of us know about this from our own homes, those buildings come with surprises, and such as leftover plumbing pipes that are above the suspended ceiling here that we discovered used to lead to the irrigation for the old planters on the plaza. So that's something that has come up just since we met last time. And we will together come back to that idea of getting community feedback once we've sort of gotten that latest surprise sort of squared away. Because that was one of those things that you just, another new discovery for us is that there were actually water pipes. We weren't aware we're still up there after the last renovation of the plaza. So anyway, I think that's the last slide of the water tour. Yeah, and I'm happy to answer, we'll take a pause here before we move on to the rest of the director's report updates, and I'll ask if you have any questions about anything. Okay, all right. So as usual, the report of the director and the divisions is in the packet. It's available to the public online. So rather than go through all of that page by page, I will just offer a few updates to it since it went to press. First of all, the Great Trivia Challenge, as already was mentioned, has happened since we saw you last, and we got a great email from the foundation's executive director. I just wanted to share part of it with permission from her. She sent this to the library staff group email. So Trivia Challenge 2024 was an epic battle until two teams remained standing, with answers of Joan of Arc and the SAG Awards being the deciding factors. In the end, the team representing Glendora Unified School District was victorious and crowned trivia champion, with Team Trivia Newton-John, sponsored by library trustee Tomoko Toland, claiming second place. The evening included In-N-Out, dessert buffet, and 10 opportunity prizes with team walk-up songs that created a wonderful game day vibe. We're still crunching numbers and we'll let you know the final score, but the real winner is all of us, a community with an awe-inspiring library staffed with amazing people who provide life-changing services. That's one story the foundation loves to tell. Thank you for supporting Trivia Challenge and for the magic you create every day. So I love the shout out to the library and again to the success it aids in community, but also just it was such a great description of a really wonderful community event that, I mean, at its heart is not just an evening out. It is a fundraiser. It is a fundraiser. And it was just so exciting to see so many teams participating and feel all of that excitement and know that this is one of the kind of keystone events that helps them financially support the library. So that may be invisible to some people who participate, that it really is a fundraiser because it's so fun. But I just wanted to share that description because it really captures a lot of the spirit of the evening. Thank you, Maggie. Let's see. Following up on something that came up at the last board meeting, there was a question about how to suggest items for titles for the library to carry. And I know I've already followed up with the board about this, but I just wanted to mention it out loud for anyone who is watching, is that yes, we do have a printed request for purchase form that are on site at the library for the customers to use, but we also do have an online version. So if you go to the library's website, glendoralibrary.org, and you go to the How Do I menu, you will find a way to suggest materials for the collection. And then we look at them based on our collection development policy, and we'll let you know whether or not we're going to be adding it to the section of titles. So that's available to everybody. We also had to, just wanted to update you on the American Library Association attendance discussions. We got some clarification from finance on sort of spending parameters for the city and how all of that can work. And we got some feedback just last week from staff about their interest. And so we'll be meeting again this week to continue parsing out the funds for that. And we'll be back in touch when we know more. As usual, the division and director's reports included a statistical summary. I just wanted to give a little bit of background about a few of the things you'll see there. So the printing services that include the library document station, they are continuing to see high usage as customers continue to become more and more familiar with that service. I wanted to point out that the that the on-site, off-site virtual programs and attendance figures, those fluctuate as staff continues to offer library programs in different locations. So, and sometimes that happens at different months. So for example, we saw a big increase compared to February of 2023, because that happened to be this year, the month that the Lefetra Health Fair happened. And so that's where we saw those numbers this time around, whereas they were in January last time around. So you'll see some short-term fluctuations because of things like that. And just to confirm that we are still not able to access reporting on our volunteer match to get our volunteer opportunity views, and the public services staff is investigating that, but it looks like that may no longer be available, so we may need to pull that from our statistics. Okay, it's in our workflow that this is the month where we tip a cap to the board vacancies and the joint meeting with City Council. Just a reminder that workflow is not necessarily all just for the public. It's not all necessarily agenda items or action items. They're just things that we make sure we want to provide information on or touch base about each year. And so indeed, with the director's report this year, we did put in the announcement of the board vacancies that is public on the website. If you go to the departments, the government, and then boards and commissions, I think that's where you'll find it on the website. And then also I've also included in there the staff report from a January City Council meeting that recaps all of the activity there has been with council and the library board related to the structure, including a joint meeting that we have already had this fiscal year in November, followed by a special Library of Trustees meeting and also another City Council meeting regarding the structure. So we're well stocked at the moment on conversations with City Council, and we'll keep on top of that in terms of whatever is coming next for the facility, because obviously that's one of the biggest topics this year. And finally, also on the workflow was a to be decided policy review. And I just wanted to confirm for folks out there following along that the library has been doing a lot of legwork on the behavior policy. It has some legal ramifications. So we are talking with city legal and risk management and some others about that. And in the meantime, we put in the sort of graphics, the slides part of the report, some ideas that we're looking at to how to make the existing behavior policy a little bit more accessible to the public and kind of making it part of our library environment so people can know what to expect and how to respect the space. Just wanted to assure everyone that we are constantly plugging away at some kind of policy update and review. Just sometimes we don't have autonomy over them, and there's a wider consult we need to do before we can bring them back to the board for consideration. So those are the updates to the written report that's in your packet. And as always, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
I'm just curious what this image, the imagine if on the page 10, which behavior, what is this inspiration for?
Oh, okay. So let's see here. This is packet page 13. And so what we have here are just some of the inspiration images we are working with in terms of incorporating our behavior policy into the environment of the library. So the Imagine If is just a way of illustrating that these days there's putting verbiage on the walls is a more common like decorating choice. And so that would have probably more, the actual content of that would be more like the shared space graphic here, or the, enjoy the space, consider others, those kinds of things, to just in the environment itself, remind people that it is indeed a community area, and to keep them aware of how they are respecting and sharing that with others. So some of these other things would be stuff that we would perhaps put out on the tables, or put like one centralized sign. For example, like the "Yes, you can" idea would be one centralized sign, perhaps, where people would get an idea of yes, this is the stuff that is allowed here, to make yourself at home. So this is just a few visual and some content stuff of how we're looking at incorporating that. And we've had some great discussions, not only with the team, but with at the library, but also with Greg Morton, our senior digital media specialist, to help us kind of do a little bit of branding with it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then, the next items, a special item, fiscal year 2023 to 2024 mid-year review library budget. I would like to invite management analyst Elke Cathal to report.
Good evening, everyone. So great to see you all again. Hold on, let me fix this. There you go. That's better. So I'm here tonight to present the interim budget report, the library's budget. We apologize, we're a little late on that. We were originally planning on presenting in January, and unfortunately there was some issues and we were just a little behind. So we're here now reporting on it. So the report that is presented is actually through March, not through January. Next slide, Gabby. Next slide. Thank you. So just some background information. In January of 2024, we started working on the mid-year review of this year's budget, and that was submitted to administrative services. Of course, this included fiscal components for this fiscal year, but we also included projections for the next 5 years. So all these mid-year submissions that we had, and from other departments as well, will be presented to the City Council in March of 2024. Fairly soon, we will be starting the budget process for the mid-cycle budget, which is going to be for fiscal year 24-25. I don't believe we've heard anything official yet, but we should be starting to work on that pretty quick. Next slide, please, Gabby. Thank you. So as you review our expenditure report, just some general comments that, and I'm sure you've heard these the general ones that we say every year. So our accounts in the 41,000 to 42,000 range, our PARS, and our benefits reflect full and part-time vacancies. So if we have a lot of vacancies in the organization, obviously that will be reflected in our staff, in our full-time and part-time budget, as well as our benefits. We have an incentive pay that is listed in our expenditure report, and that's actually a recruitment bonus. It is paid at time of hire partially. So the first part is paid when somebody gets hired, and then once somebody successfully completes their probation, then they get paid the remainder of that incentive pay. You will also notice in this budget report that are some line items that show no expenditures at all. And this is actually because of pending credit card purchases. So if you look at, for example, our training or our uniform and laundry line item, which is basically our uniforms, there have been expenditures, but they're just not reflected in this yet because the credit cards are still being processed. So if we were to run this report next month, those expenditures would show. And next slide, please, Gabby. Thank you. So as we go through the divisions for administration and development, we wanted to point out that staffing levels are based on our recommendations. We ask city administration or administrative services, we believe this is what we will need, and they will base their calculations on that. And the same thing with associated costs such as vehicle allowance and flex benefits. So we recommend, and then they do all the calculations for us. Our office supplies, if you look at those, our expenditures are a little lower this year, and we actually have been able to utilize supplies that we purchased last fiscal year. So that's good. That will provide, we'll have some extra money to spend towards the end of this fiscal year. Our operating leases, which was reflected in our expenditure report, actually was moved to information systems to centralize the process. So all the city's leases were moved to our IT department. One new line item that you will see in this budget report is what we call the service and employee recognition, which was formerly part of office supplies. So that was part of, within the office supplies line item. And in order to better reflect what those costs are, we asked that to be pulled out. And so it's easily visible now where our funds are spent. If you look at our printing expenditures, we've actually noticed that over the last few years, they have been reduced. We're not doing as much printing as we use more social media, we use Content Contact. We just don't use as much printing anymore. So we will be looking at that to see if we can redeploy those funds to other line items within the library to help wherever they're needed in those particular line items. So we'll be looking at that probably starting for this next fiscal year already. Next slide, please. Thank you. Our bank charges, you have seen that for a couple of years now. These are for our e-commerce, and that is still pending. We are still working on this particular project, and finance is working on implementation for that particular part. Our training and education, if you look at that, like I said, there are some pending charges, but overall, we have been utilizing a combination of training that was actually paid for last fiscal year. We're using a lot of free webinars. There's so many different options now with COVID. Unfortunately, it was because of COVID, but it's helped us out a lot of free webinars. And we're also using library resources such as LinkedIn Learning for the staff's professional development. So this actually has helped us be able to provide additional things, and we should have some funding available, as Janet mentioned, for the American Library Association annual conference. So because we were able to save money by utilizing all these other means, where we have these funds available, which is really fantastic. If you look at our gas charges, unfortunately, there's higher utility costs and there is higher usage. We are still working out some kinks in the system. Hopefully we have all that fixed, but we will be asking for a mid-year adjustment because we're already in the negative, unfortunately. We did spend a lot more already than we had originally budgeted. If you look at our contract services, some of our e-library invoices come at the end of the fiscal year, and that's why you see it's not spent as much down, which you'll see in some of our other accounts too, that many of our expenditures come towards the end of the fiscal year, and then that's really when you will see these particular line items drop. Thank you, Gabby. Division supplies. So this particular line item actually reflects items that were purchased in the previous fiscal year. So that's why the expenditures are not where we would see them at this particular point in the fiscal year. The same for children's room and self-directed program supplies. We have actually not needed to replace those. So again, no expenditures in the youth and adult division supplies, or not as much as we would normally see for this time of the year. For the adult services, the adult content for the public. So that one shows largely spent because we have a lot of our electronic resource subscriptions and the timing of those particular payments. So a lot of those are already paid for. It just kind of fluctuates. Every year is different, but some of these things come later in the year and some are early in the year. So this particular one is we've already paid for that. So next slide, please, Gabby. Okay. Some of the other things that you did not see in the budget report is our grant funds. So our grant funds are under adjusted with the mid-year process. And of course, within those grant funds, you would also see where our mobile shelving would be expenditured. That's where those funds came from. Thank you to the Friends Foundation. Fantastic. Also, a revenue report. We are still working between the new and the old accounting system, and we're trying to bridge between the two of them. And so that's why there's no revenue report at this time. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thorough. Okay, next is the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless a trustee has requested it to be removed for separate discussion. Does anybody wish to pull or comment on any consent calendar item? Anybody, like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar? Second.
So I have a motion made by trustee Tolan and seconded by President Landman. I will now open it for vote and conduct an oral roll call. Trustee Chu? Aye. Trustee Flowers?
Aye.
Trustee Tolan? Vice President Johnson?
Aye.
President Landman?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you. So then that leads to the board or staff closing comments. Do any trustees or staff have any closing comments? Would like to- I just have one. Sorry. Okay, any word on possible badge exhibit? And also I was wondering, where could one locate the badge form? So if like I wanted my students to create some badges.
Sure,
you know.
absolutely. So the badge form is available in the calendar entry on the website. So glendoralibrary.org under the events calendar with the badge entry, the form is linked there. As far as the exhibit, there is no final word yet.
Thank you. Then I would like to adjourn the meeting at 7:50. Thank you.